Good evening. This PowerPoint presentation covers the 4 things that I learned from my MBA. First of all, I recognize that I developed a physical dependency on PowerPoint. And I'm now seeking professional help for that. I also learned a brand new language as part of this program. I learned that anything that's worth learning can be conveyed quickly and easily in a chart. I learned to take existing models, charts, concepts, and in a very MBA analytical way, apply those to new sets of data. Now, more than just tell you the things I've learned, I'd like to actually demonstrate the depth and profundity of this knowledge as I've gained it. I think that I'll quickly convey my new adeptness at PowerPoint with this next transition. Number 2, I learned a new language. It was a prereq for this program to have a second language under your belt, to have fluency, and we assumed it was so that we would be able to enter new countries and new cultures and quickly adapt and understand what we would be experiencing and understand in many cases our professors. That wasn't a joke. But I'll tell you, we were lied to. You actually learned an additional language during this program. You learned the language of business, complete with a new vocabulary. And many of you in the room are not MBAs, and I apologize to you because you haven't learned this language, because the next segment of my comments will be in business schoolese. However, to make it culturally adapted, in an effort to be non-MBA friendly, I'm going to put a translation of my remarks on the board. 4Q and 1600 ICH ago, we determined that the FV of our WACC could be improved by exchanging CA for FA and leveraging our IP. After a SWOT analysis of our OTB, we chose an MBA with GSU in the program called GP. In Octo 7 and CS 600, the C of 08 began. We met PY and KDL and also Robin M. We learned Econ and Polstrat, ComDip and IntBiz, BizLaw and Bismarck, Impost and Infosys. In our IT class, we read how HDDD would go DOA thanks to PS3. And in PY's op class at IAE, we learned to streamline MFG using JIT. We saw RDJ and flew to CDG. We changed our USD into RMB. In PRC, we toured the BOC, then grabbed some US food at the Mickey D. After all that, we're back at GSU, here in ATL with one thing to do: to cross the stage and receive our degrees, and add 3 new letters to our CVs. The third thing I learned was really that any information that needed to be conveyed should and could be conveyed in the form of a chart. Again, I'd like to demonstrate. My first example is a pie chart about eating pie. You'll see that the uppermost quarter has been eaten. This next chart I'm going to have to explain. This is a bar graph showing how excited I am about class as a relationship to how much effort I'm willing to put in that class. You'll notice right away it's a positive linear function, a solid forward-sloping relationship. This point here is where no matter how interested in your class I am, I'm simply going to be unable to put any more effort into it. This is where you find international marketing, perhaps international strategy on this side, organizational behavior. And over here, where the slope comes back down, would be micro and macroeconomics, or anything Malin was teaching. The excitement was there, but the effort was unable to compete. As my excitement grew, the effort became an increasingly declining slope. If there are any questions, I can do a handout afterwards. The next, I'd like to present a SWAT of the SWAT. This is an armed force division that doesn't get enough attention. Basically, we see their strengths are they're very good at fighting. Also, they wear body armor. Their weaknesses, well, I was unable to identify any. Opportunities, well, they break down doors to apprehend bad guys, and there's a lot of opportunity there. Their threats, again, I was unable to identify any, because they eliminate them. Next is a slide of a brown cloud. I still don't understand what this means. But I've made it blue, moved it to the left, and added a thunderbolt. And I think that goes without saying. My final chart is a familiar marketing matrix showing the movement and development of products as they mature. And in this upper left corner, you'll see the goal is to become a star. And who are the stars? Well, we're all stars. The fourth thing I learned was to take existing models, examples, charts, ideas, and concepts that existed, and analyze them and apply them to new situations. I thought a perfect example of this would be the comedy routine of Jeff Foxworthy, "You Might Be a Redneck." And I adapted it to our particular data set. You might be a GP MBA. If you've ever tried to calculate student loan debt in Europe, you might be a GP MBA. If you know the right way to pronounce strategy and tactic, you might be a GP MBA. If you've ever used the word widget to describe a non-existent product line, you might be a GP MBA. Or if you've ever looked up the word widget in a foreign language dictionary. If you've ever checked with a fellow student to know not only what class you have tomorrow, but what country it's in, you might be a GP MBA. If you've ever sat in a class taught entirely in English and thought, what language am I hearing? You might be a GP MBA. If you've ever lost 150,000 virtual dollars in a virtual margin call, playing the virtual stock market. Specific to this last quarter of our unique timing in the economy. Number 4, if you've ever accidentally started a nuclear war in Brazil, or accidentally depleted the world's first. Doc Wilson's laughing especially hard. We set records for that, didn't we? It was just a simulation, people. They're still fish. If you've ever spent more than 8 hours in the PC, you might be a GP MBA. 2 times. If you've ever begun a question with the phrase, "I was reading in the Wall Street Journal," you might be a GP MBA. If you ever bragged that your new suit was made in China, or a good portion of your wardrobe, Kim and Carol, you might be a GP MBA. And finally, if you've ever read a case study on the beaches of Ipanema, if you've prepared your PowerPoint presentation at a cafe in Paris, or if you've sat in a business meeting at the top floor of a skyscraper overlooking the smog of Shanghai, if you've taken 20 classes across 4 continents at 4 renowned universities, traveled the entire globe in 432 days, I think that's an accurate count, met 19 total strangers and had them become your best friends, and shared experiences that changed your life not only for the last year and a half, but your perspective of what the world is, of what business is, what friendship is. You might be a GP MBA. And we're grateful to say congratulations to the class of 2008. Thank you.